Boothill versus Firefly. Who should you summon for? Yes, I've had this question asked of me because they're both break effect characters. They're both break effect attackers, more specifically. They're coming out like back to back. So who should you be summoning for? Now, to sum this up for the people who don't really want to get too in depth with the kits, I'll get into that. But to sum it up real quick for you here, if you really like Boothill, go for Boothill. If you really like Firefly, go for Firefly. For a little more in depth, the best way to differentiate them is Boothill is a single target and Firefly is an AoE break effect. That's like the main difference. No, Firefly is not like acheron level break effect where acheron is like just the best in every. Acheron's the GOAT. Firefly is not quite that level where it makes Boothill useless because Firefly's doing so much damage, whether they're single or AoE. Boothill's actually outperforming Firefly when it comes down to like zero cycling and whatnot in certain things, but most people do not give a shit about that. Let's just be real. That applies to like the less than 1% of people to play this game. Most people just want their cool, fun character to go do whatever. And in that case, go for who you like. I'm going to be honest. I'll read through their kits if you want a little more in depth here now, though. And I personally am going to be summoning for both of them under the idea that they're both break effect. Boothill is a single target, so he will be better at MOC, Memory of Chaos, and like Echoes of War type stuff, while Firefly will be better at Pure Fiction. Being an AoE character, you can just kind of roll with that. Have your break effect team with your Harmony Trailblazer, your Ruin May, your Gallagher, whoever you want in the team setup specifically, and then just kind of switch between Boothill and Firefly depending on what you're doing, whether it's Pure Fiction or it's MOC or Echoes of War. So there's that option too, going for both, which is definitely the more fun option, but not everyone has that many Jades saved up or wants to spend money on the game. So with that in mind though, let's get into a little more in-depth here, and it probably will take a while. So if you're still hanging around, you want to hear a little bit more about Boothill and Firefly, a little more in-depth than just summon who you want for, and they're both pretty good, and so far Boothill is doing it a little faster than Firefly in like the mock MOCs. He's finishing, I think it's like a turn or something, a cycle faster. So there is that, but let's talk about what they do, what the differences are, what you should be looking for in either character. It's also going to be like a breakdown of both of them. Firefly will, of course, as I mentioned, change. There will be changes to Firefly. I'd be amazed if there aren't. So, yeah, get ready for that. Let's talk about Boothill. Boothill's main thing, he has a skill, as everyone does. The skill, as you can see here in the video, this is from the live stream, it puts them in a standoff state. You have taunted the enemy here. When you use your technique here on Boothill, you can see here, after the technique is used, when casting the skill for the first time in the next battle, applies the same physical weakness to the target as the one that you would do when you use his ultimate. We'll talk about it, but when you use his ult, you put a physical weakness on the enemy, so you're guaranteed to take down their toughness bar. But Boothill, when you do your skill, you put them in a standoff. You and them are locked in battle. You can attack them, and they are taunted to attack you. One thing to mention, as you see in this video, which is from the live stream, he uses his skill, but his turn doesn't end. Normally when you use a skill, that's the end of your turn, that's your turn, and it moves on to the next person in the order. Boothill, however, uses his skill, which puts him in the taunt phase, the standoff, and then you can use your enhanced basic attack. It's the only thing you can do, is your enhanced basic attack at that point. You could ult, but then you still have to go again, because then you have your enhanced basic attack, and you should use your enhanced basic attack probably beforehand. So you don't end your turn when you use the skill. You get to enhance basic attack instead of your normal basic attack, which, to be honest, you should always be like using the skill and enhance basic attacking with Boothill. There's like no real point to ever use it's just normal basic attack. It does like thing for you. And unlike in the live stream where they leave it in like vague terms, like the standoff state for a certain number of turns, we know the turns, they just do that in case they decide to change anything about the kit before he actually releases. Odds they change it are like 0. I don't think they've changed anyone this late as far as I'm aware. So this is what Boothill will be looking like. His skill here puts him in the standoff state. He gets the attack, is now the enhanced basic attack, and he cannot use his skill anymore because you're already in the standoff. This lasts for 2 turns, and every time Boothill comes back up in the turn chart, the turn list, whatever it is, he obviously decreases that by 1, as every character does in this game with their ability. The enemy in the standoff becomes taunted when either the enemy or Boothill gets attacked by the other person, so Boothill attacking the enemy or the enemy attacking Boothill. The damage they receive increases by 37.5 or 15. Now, This is at max trace level. Those percentages there, you can see the list here of the traces actually. The percentages, they go up obviously with the higher you've leveled things up. To get the other after 10, you need the Idollons. So if you don't have Boothill E5 at the minimum, you're not going to be getting 15 for all of these things or whatnot. So if you're just getting Boothill one time, which is honestly all you need, it's up to 10, so it's up to 30%. 15% is Boothill. Boothill takes an extra 15%, and the enemy takes an extra increasing amount percent of damage. You can actually decrease the amount Boothill actually takes with Idollons, which I'll talk about, but again, not necessarily needed unless you want more Idollons than Boothill. But the big thing here is when you attack the enemy, after the target is defeated or becomes weakness broken, so either one, you don't have to defeat them, Boothill will gain a stack of Pocket Trick Shot. Now, why do you want Pocket Trick Shot? What is Pocket Trick Shot? Well, let me tell you, because if we go down to Boothill's talent, it explains what Pocket Trick Shot is and why you want some good old Pocket Trick Shot. Each stack of Pocket Trick Shot increases the enhanced basic attack's toughness reduction by 50%. Can stack up to 3 times, so that's 150 for the quick math whiz out there. If the target is weakness broken while the enhanced basic attack is used, based on the number of Pocket Trick Shot stacks, deals break damage to this target equal to, and then depending on how many Pocket Trick Shot stats you have, up to 3, 87.5, 150, 212.5. Hence why you want more Pocket Trick Shot stances, or stacks. God, I'm confusing words here. I can't speak. You want more Pocket Trick Shot stacks. Up to 3. You're going to try and get these by weakness breaking or killing enemies, which is why, even though Boothill's a single target, when there is like a boss enemy, but they have like little minions with them, you take out the little minions with Boothill, or at least weakness break them with Boothill, to get Pocket Trick Shot. So you can stack up your Pocket Trick Shot, so you can be doing that big amount of damage. Now, that's it. Again, trace level 15. So at trace level 10, for most people, with your E0 Boothill, 170% is that, but still, it's better than 70, 120. It's better than those, so you're going to want it to be at the max, and that's what you're going to be aiming for with 3 Pocket Trick Shot stacks. So Boothill isn't bad if there are like little enemies alongside the main boss that you're targeting, like you may think Hunt characters are, because they want to focus on the one dude, take him out with big damage. Boothill actually benefits from having little dudes there to farm Pocket Trick Shot off of. The max toughness taken into account for this damage cannot exceed 16 times the base toughness reduction of the basic attack, Skull Crush Spurs, or yada yada yada. After winning the battle, though, Boothill can retain Pocket Trick Shots for the next battle. That's a nice thing to have in there, but that is what Pocket Trick Shot is and why you want to get Pocket Trick Shot by weakness breaking or defeating the enemy using your enhanced basic attack, which you get from your skill. Hope this is sounding clear, making sense for everyone listening. Because I know in these games, especially if you're not like deeply into them, all this can kind of sound like jibber jabber. I want to try and make it understandable to people who want to know and want to learn. I know like when I first started playing Genshin, they had all sorts of abilities and whatnot, and I was like, I don't really care. I'm not going to read all this. But it does help if you want to know how to best use the character. So hopefully I can make that understandable. Then we get to his ultimate here. Boothill's ultimate will automatically apply physical weakness to the enemy. So you may be thinking, oh, if I'm fighting someone who's doesn't have a physical weakness, Boothill can't break them. Well, he can though. Boothill can. So when you use your ultimate, it will apply physical weakness to the enemy that you have targeted. They are now weak to physical, regardless of if they were or not before. And then this will last for 2 turns, and you will deal a whole bunch of damage to them, and then you will delay their action. Of course, you can see here at level 10, most people will be getting. The delay is 40%, and then the damage is 400. Obviously, if you get them all the way up, you know, you get their E5 minimum. If you're going E5, you're probably going to try and get E6 anyway, but you get that. You can get 480 and up to 45%. That's just how it is. In any game you play these days, you're going to get more if you spend more money. But that's level 10. And so, but the big thing here is you apply the physical weakness for 2 turns. So you've used your ultimate on them. Then you can follow up with more Boothill attacks. Like you can skill them. So then you can use your enhanced basic attack on the enemy then, who already now has physical weakness if they didn't before. Attack them there, but bam, you're making the most of that ultimate, which is another thing why you would want to use it on like the big boss after you get your Pocket Trick Shots and whatnot. So Keep that in mind. He does have another way, though, to impart physical weakness on an enemy if they don't have it already, and that's his technique. So after the technique is used, when casting the skill for the first time, so when you use your skill to get them in standoff, then you are able to apply the same physical weakness to the target that you do on your ultimate, lasts for 2 turns. So there's another way besides just the ultimate. You can start off the battle by putting physical weakness on them to help you break them, get pocket trick shot, then you get the ult, bam. You just kind of keep going here. You see where we're going with this? I will say when Boothill breaks an enemy or kills them, he has this extra long animation here. If you don't break them, you just shoot the gun. I think it shows here. Boothill just shoots the gun, bang, bang, bang. He didn't break him. He doesn't do this last part where you see here, breaks, and then pulls out his arm cannon gun and shoots them with that, dealing more damage because he weakness broke them. So keep that in mind, or when they're defeated, but keep that in mind. You get a cool little extra animation when you weakness break them. And that. For his ultimate, I mentioned here, this is what it looks like if you were not aware. Looks super sick and imparts the physical weakness on the dinosaur. You also get whoever is you're ulting on, you get them in that wanted poster, which is one of the coolest things I've seen. This is his technique, by the way, if you're wondering what I was talking about when I mentioned that he is able to use his technique and you can apply physical weakness when you use your skill. This is it in action. You can see he's using the skill after the technique, imparts the physical weakness. Bada bing, bada boom. And now weak to physical. Boothill can do his thing. Boothill can break him. I don't know why they put this down here. The fanning the hammer is his enhanced basic attack when you're in the standoff state. So there's that. Now, Idollons. Again, I'm not going to spend super much time on this. Most people don't go past just getting the character one time, but I will for the people who want a little more. If you get him E1 when the battle starts, you automatically obtain a stack of pocket trick shots. So that's nice. You don't have to earn an extra one by weakness breaking or defeating an enemy. Just kind of speeds up your process of focusing in on like the main bad guy. When you deal damage, ignore 16% of the enemy's defense. E2, while in standoff and gaining a pocket trick shot, you also recover a skill point and increase your break effect by 30%, lasting for 2 turns. As Boothill wants a lot of break effect, like all the break effect, both Boothill and Firefly, you're going to want to get a crazy amount of break effect on them, like 300% or more. Of course, that implies other things like using buffs of Ruin May and whatnot, which I'll talk about, but more break effect is nice. You can also trigger this effect when gaining pocket trick shot stacks that exceed the max limit, which is 3. So if you have 3 and then weakness break or kill someone, you'll still gain pocket trick shot, but it doesn't increase the other things that are mentioned. Extra toughness reduction doesn't do that, but you can still gain this buff of recovering a skill point and increasing break effect by 30% if you do it and you already have 3 stacks of pocket trick shot. E3 is the same as everyone, +2 to ultimate level, +1 to basic attack level. E4, when the enemy target is in the standoff, is attacked by Boothill, the damage they receive additionally increases by an extra 12%. And then when Boothill is attacked by the enemy target in the standoff, the effect of him receiving damage is reduced. They say offset here, but is reduced by 12%. That's what I was talking about with more Idollons. If you get him to E4, which you better have your savings saved up or get real lucky or have your credit card at the ready. But when in his thing, it's 15%, it's now down to 3, which effectively is like, that's not bad. Like, you're not taking that much extra damage, even though you're going to be doing even more damage. E4, you'll be adding on the extra 12%. So you're doing even more to them and taking even less yourself. Almost basically like you're just getting attacked, not in the standoff. So that's why E4 can be nice. E5 is the same E5 everyone has, the skill level and the talent up. And then E6. This one is actually kind of crazy, which E6 should be because you're kind of probably spending money to do this. When triggering the talent's break damage, additionally deals break damage to the target equal to 40% of the original damage multiplier, and then additionally deals break damage to adjacent targets equal to 70% of the original damage multiplier. So, when triggering the talent's break damage, let's do a quick reminder of that. That is the pocket trick shot if the enemy's weakness broken while the enhanced basic attack is being used. Based on the number of pocket trick shot, deal break damage to this target. So, we're adding on an extra 40% of the original damage multiplier. And then you're also doing an extra 70% now to the adjacent target. Boothill has become an AoE unit now with his E6. E6 is kind of nice, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna get that because that's a lot of money I'd probably have to spend knowing my luck. But if you do want to go for E6, it can be kind of crazy for Boothill. That is basically Boothill wrapped up. Most of the times I've seen him used, it is used with his light cone SI1. So just the light cone getting it the first time. Just you pull Boothill once, you pull the light cone once, and that's what most of the runs that people have been using on the beta server, running the ammo scene and whatnot, have been using him at. He's been doing some great damage, zero cycling, all that good stuff. So keep that in mind. When Boothill actually comes out, I'll do like a just focused on Boothill. What light cones, everything you should be getting for Boothill, all that good stuff. I do actually have a video already talking about Boothill and kind of his light cones and whatnot if you want to go check that out. But when he comes out, I'll make a new one because he's finally out. But let's jump to Firefly. Now, for Firefly, I don't have the same cool animations because I'm not going to show off the ones that they don't want us to show off because Hoyoverse hates you and will come beat me in my sleep. So I'm not going to do that. But I am going to talk about Firefly. I'm going to be talking about what she does. So she has a normal attack and then a normal skill. They're both single targets. I know I said, oh, she's the AoE version of Break Effect's DPS. Boothill's the single target. Her normal basic attack and her normal skill are single target. The thing here is Firefly is all about being in her ultimate state, which is called complete combustion. And it's pretty easy to get her to ultimate. And the best way to describe her ultimate, I'll read the in-depth stuff here for you, but the best way to break down her ultimate, just like when you ult with Robin, if you've seen Robin gameplay, then Robin enters a special state where in the bar, the action bar, you see that it's a set speed of 90. You see it coming up the way, and when it reaches her, it's like a special symbol that ends her ultimate and she comes back out to normal Robin. The difference here is because Firefly does the same thing. She has also the same 90 speed. It'll appear in the action bar and you'll have your attacks or whatever until that point. The difference is Robin you can't do anything with. Robin is basically removed from the battle. Firefly is not. You will be able to use Firefly. It just is that same idea of being in the action bar for 90 speed. It's that same amount of time as Robin's, just to give you a good idea. With that being said, her ultimate is not some big grand attack like most ultimates. It is entering the state, the complete combustion state. When you enter, so upon entering the complete combustion state, Sam's actions will advance by 100%, so Sam will get to go again. You'll gain the enhanced basic attack and the enhanced skill, which I think they're going to probably put down here. Let's see here. Yes, this is the enhanced basic attack and the enhanced skill. The enhanced basic attack is still a single target, but the enhanced skill is where she becomes an AoE unit. During the ultimate, though, besides that, increase your speed by 62.5. This is at level 15. If I bring down the details here, level 10, most people will have her at, what is that, 62.5? Where's that? That's right here. So you'll increase it by 50%, your speed here, for most people, unless you're getting her E5, E6. When using the enhanced basic attack or the enhanced skill, increases Sam weakness break efficiency by 50%. That's the same, actually, all the way through. Whether you have her trace level 1 or 10 or you have her max, that's 50% regardless. Increases the damage the weakness broken enemy target receives by 14.4. That would actually be 12 for most people. Not a huge difference, just 2.4%. Lasting until the current attack ends. Countdown timer, as I mentioned, it's just like Robin's. In the action order bar, when the countdown turn starts, Sam exits the complete combustion state and the countdown has a fixed speed of 90. You cannot ult while in this state because the ultimate is being in this state. So even if you get all your energy back, you have to wait till the state ends, but then you can ult and immediately have Sam continue doing her attacks, which is one part people like about Sam. It advances the action forward of Sam. So Sam/Firefly can do just a bunch of damage and effectively determine when they're going to attack if you have your ultimate gauge filled up. She does have a big ultimate energy cost, so you do have to keep that in mind. Just like how Robin has a high energy cost, so does Sam. But you may be thinking, okay, her normal skill attack, single target, consumes 50% of Sam's HP. Okay, so you've just lost half your HP. but regenerates a fixed amount of energy equal to 50% of Sam's max energy. You've just filled your bar to the ultimate 50% of the way. And you're like, oh, okay, so we're almost at the ult. Actually, if we jump down, not worrying about the damage numbers here, one thing I will mention though, if you don't have enough HP to take away 50% of yours, it'll just drop you to 1. It won't kill you. It's not gonna be like, oh, I used the skill, I didn't have enough HP, I'm dead now. It'll drop you to 1, so you'd have to worry about dying, but you should be good with Sam as long as you don't get attacked. But why did I say, oh, you'll actually be at 100% energy? Well, maybe I don't think I said that, but you will be after you use your skill. You'll be at 100% energy because your talent here, Sam's talent, will start here. The lower the HP, the lower damage received. So when you have HP 20% or lower, your damage reduction is reducing up to, if we show here, level 10, damage reduction is reducing 40% of the damage you're receiving. So you're taking a lot less damage for being at low HP. It'll also increase your effect resistance. That 32.5 is over here. So at 10, it's actually 25%. So most people would be at 25. Or I guess whatever you level it up to if you don't level them up to 25. But that's the max without getting more Eidolons. But here's the big thing. If your energy is lower than 50% when the battle starts, you'll regen energy to 50%. So you're at 50%. You use your skill to gain 50%. 50 plus 50, 100. You're at 100%. Then you can use your ultimate and enter the complete combustion state. That's why I said it's pretty easy to actually get into a complete combustion state. The whole goal is to be in the complete combustion state as long as possible because you do more damage. So they actually make it quite easy with the whole technique or trait or talent. Lose my mind here. With the talent and then her skill to get her to the energy. But then you may be wondering, okay, we lost 50% of our HP though. Should I run a sustain with Sam? Well, she actually can sustain herself. These are the enhanced basic attack and the enhanced skill when you're in your combustion state. And you can see here when you use just the normal attack, restores HP equal to 20% of the unit's max HP. So you just restored 20 of that 50 you lost. And then you'll deal fire damage. Although actually if I pull up here, it's 20%. Yep, 20% all the way through. Doesn't matter. Always 20%. I think this is also going to always be 35% when you use your skill. You'll restore HP by 35%, so 35% of that 50 you just lost. You'll restore that, so you're healing up a big amount. You will also apply fire weakness to a single enemy if the target enemy does not already have it, lasting for 2 turns. Just like how Boothill can apply physical, Firefly can apply fire, although she does it on her skill every time, not using the technique like Boothill. So there's that. However, Boothill always applies it on his ultimate. Firefly's ultimate isn't like an attack, so it doesn't always apply it, but you should be using your skill after you ult with Firefly. So you'll apply the fire weakness to people anyway. Deal fire damage equal to 0.5% break effect, and the damage, which of course is going to be lower. This is just showing that complete maximum is going to be lower when you have, whatever level you have to target enemy. At the same time, fire damage 0.25% times break effect plus 240% of Sam's attack to the adjacent targets, people on either side of your main focus. And then a maximum of 360 break effect is calculated. So, you both want to break with them. The big negatives to Firefly, I'll read her Idollons here. Again, these are probably going to change, which is part of, but E1, okay, I just kind of threw out a bunch of things right there, sorry. The big problem with Sam, I'll mention after I read her Idollons. Or the main complaint, I guess. I'll read. E1, though. When using the enhanced skill, ignores 15% of the target's defense, and the enhanced skill does not consume skill points. So that's nice to keep you skill point positive. Have people on the team that if you're having a skill point hungry team, you can kind of save some with E1 there. E2, when using the enhanced basic attack or the enhanced skill in the complete combustion state, to defeat an enemy target or cause them to weakness broken, Sam immediately gains 1 extra turn. This effect can trigger again after 1 turn. So if you defeat or weakness break, defeat or weakness break an enemy, you'll immediately get to go again. That's a big thing with Sam. That's why a lot of people are probably going to say go for E2, because it does help Sam do a lot more damage and help clear things a lot faster. So there's that. E3 normal, E3 for everybody. E4, when in complete combustion, Sam is immune to crowd control, can only trigger 2 times during each complete combustion, so every time you ult, this goes 2 times. I don't know how many times you're being crowd control debuffed more than twice, during like your ultimate phase. So you're effectively immune to crowd control, which is nice because then you can't be frozen, you can't be imaginary locked. You get to attack with Sam, you don't have to worry about having Sam unable to actually do anything in her complete combustion state after vaulted. E5 the same as everybody, and then E6, when in complete combustion, increases Sam's fire resistant penetration by 12%. When using the enhanced basic attack or skill, increase the weakness break efficiency by 50%. So she does have some very nice Eidolons in there. So if you want to go for them, you can. I would say the craziest one I feel out of all of them, for both, the craziest one for Firefly would be E2, allowing her to just go again. That's huge. The craziest one for Boothill is obviously going to be the E6, allowing it to become AoE. Like, that's ridiculous. But you don't need Eidolons, whatever, for either of them. The main complaint, though, that you've probably seen about Firefly, or maybe you've heard, is most of her damage when people are running her in like the beta servers is she needs to be ran with the Harmony MC. Now, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Sure, you have to build Harmony MC, but they're actually good, so it's not like you're just building some trash character just to run them with Firefly. Harmony MC is actually good for Boothill or Firefly, or any break effect character that we're going to be getting in the short future until I guess someone comes out better, because of their super break effect damage. So Firefly is effectively glued to Harmony MC. You basically have to run them, but that's not like awful. It's not like Ruin May also is another character you should probably run with both of them if you have her, but Ruin May isn't as needed as Harmony MC is for Firefly. Harmony MC is free, completely free to play. It's the main character. You get their Eidolons for free. Everything about them is free. Sure, you have to work to level them up, okay, but you play the story, you get the Harmony MC, you earn their Eidolons by playing the game. You don't have to spend any money for them or Jade. They're quite literally free. So it's not the end of the world. It's not like they're asking you to go out and get an E6 Ruin May in order to have Firefly be any good. No, we're asking for you to get a free-to-play, the most free-to-play character you could free-to-play to run with Firefly. And every character has people you're going to want to run them with. It's not like Firefly's the first character ever who's like, oh, you should run this character with Firefly. Every character has people you should be running them with, so yeah, there's that. But you should definitely be running Harmony MC, unless they make some big changes to Firefly here, which I guess they could. But there's that. You should be running Ruin May with both of them if you have her. I think she'll probably be coming back at some point soon. So there's that, if you want to try and get her and then the other two. But basically, if you want to run a break effect team, like say you have Ruin May already, you've built your Harmony MC, you have Gallagher, you could get both of them. So you have Boothill for MOC / Echoes of War type deal. So, because that's where single target shines more. And then you have Firefly for Pure Fiction. You could then run them in their separate things. You basically have the break effect team. You're just swapping out Boothill for Firefly for the different things, because MOC or Pure Fiction is all about just getting rid of the mobs as fast as possible, so having AoE is a big deal there. That's why hunt characters are so bad in it, because they're single target. You're taking more turns to get rid of enemies, which is not good in Pure Fiction. But in MOC, it's like a bigger boss. You're focusing in on a guy. Your hunt characters, Boothill in this situation, can just focus in and go to work and absolutely decimate. That's why he's better when it comes to Memories of Chaos, MOC, / the Echoes of War, because you're normally focused on a big boss. The point I've seen people making is in running in the test servers, Boothill against the Sam boss, which is the worst one to fight since he has a locked toughness bar. You can't deplete it until you reach a certain point in the fight. Boothill is able to clear it faster than Firefly, which they're both break effect characters, so there is that. But that's a main point people have been bringing up, is Boothill's performing better even against his worst nightmare and not being able to break them until you reach that point. But yeah, I would say if you want to run break effect as a whole thing, probably try and summon for both of them. I know they're gonna come out like back to back, so that's a little tough, but that'll have that'll have you set for break effect for Echoes of War, MLC, and Pure Fiction. If you just want to go for one, whichever one I guess you like more. I guess Boothill is technically seen as better right now, but they're gonna make changes to Firefly, and I also don't think it's that crazy of a difference to like 99% of the people that play this game. Yeah, so good luck. I'm gonna go for both of them because I think they're both cool and I like break effect. So I'm gonna cry myself to sleep. But I wish you all the best in your summons. I will be summoning for Boothill when he comes out. If you want to see more Honkai Star Rail content from me, I do stream every single day and I play Honkai a good amount of those days. Not every single day exactly, but a lot of the time I am playing Star Rail. So feel free to come stop on by. This has already been a super long video, but we had a lot to talk about if you stuck around. So appreciate you. If you enjoyed, leave a like, all that YouTube stuff. Hope you are staying happy and healthy, having the best of days. I'll catch you all in the next one.